Good afternoon and welcome to the Ipswich Save. And I kind of had a little thought this morning, and I was thinking about where do I go with this Ipswich Beginners Save, because having just come out of hospital a few weeks ago, following the heart surgery more than a few weeks ago, it's quite difficult to sit and make videos. They take a long time to make. The last video that I uploaded a couple of days ago took me a long time, and so the recovery is slower than anticipated. So I thought, let's do it live. And the reason I decided that was because people in the main live stream that I do, I've actually found that quite useful to see what we do in real time. So I decided, okay, let's go and do this in real time. But before we go on to playing a couple of games and setting up and making changes in game, just a quick recap as to where we are for my benefit as well as the people who were following along prior to my surgery. Hey D-Law, how are you doing? Did you start last year's game since Ipswich? It's pretty much we began it when they were in the championship. It's a fresh save that we began. I mean, as you can see, we are top of the league. We are on an incredible run of form. We have played 24. We've won 22, drawn 2, and we have 68 points. We are 19 points clear as we come to January. And we're looking good. We are unbeaten in the league. And it's getting harder. And I'm just looking at these last two games. We were very, very fortunate to win these to get anything out of these last two games. The squad is small and it's tired. And they haven't been able to rotate a lot. And as we come up to Christmas, this Leicester game, we were soundly beaten. I have no idea how we managed to get a 1-1 draw out of that. We took the lead and they pummeled us. It's rotations difficult, and I had to take two players off at halftime because they were completely cream crackered. And so they are very, very tired. And so what we're doing here, despite setting up properly, is at some point going to come to an end. Tiredness is going to be a factor, and I have to accept that. So I want to just go through responsibilities. I don't do any training, and I've set up I think I've explained it before, I've set up my responsibilities in the staff screens. I don't do, I allow the director of football to organise all the scouting, although I do have the final say on any players, and I can scout, of course, myself. And I allow player contracts to be dealt with by the director of football. It just makes, as a beginner, it makes more sense for you to allow that to happen, because you've got, as a beginner, a lot of stuff to think about. And really, as a manager at the beginning, you just focus on what's going on in the pitch and just try to do your best in terms of team management. So really we're focusing on the team dynamics, and we're focusing on the tactic in the main, and then managing in-game. If we look at the tactic, I tried to set the tactic up for Ipswich in exactly the same way as they played in that promotion year. And we've got this inverted fullback, which is working quite well here, with the wing back, normally Leif Davis, who's free to maraud and go up and down the pitch here. And it just means that the back three will just, when he's gone missing, they will come across and operate as a back three. And it's working quite well, obviously. And so we're going to sit here and play a couple of games. And we're just going to chill out. Doing a live stream is easier for me because I don't have to do any prep and any graphics, and I just get on the computer and we play some games. So we have, we're going to play a few games and let's see where we're at the end of it. We're going to probably play up to Aston Villa, and then we will probably lose in the FA Cup third round. Aston Villa are probably going to be too difficult for us to overcome. But in in the sense that that doesn't matter. We have a huge amount of games still to play with a small squad. As we come to January, we are going to be bringing a couple of players in which will help. We're short in midfield, so Lewis Travis, who's a ball-winning midfielder, he will help. He'll probably do a very good job for us in the defensive midfield position as a ball winner. Suits the style that we're playing. And then we have a winger who can come in and help. He's a young boy, already got a nice price tag to him, so I think that he will probably do a decent job. He's got good pace, and his dribbling skills are not bad. He's not very good at crossing, but we'll see how he gets on. And then we have Kiefer Moore coming in up front. We have had problems up front with only two strikers who are not great, and so Kiefer Moore and Ali Al-Hamadi will be useful. I've not done any transfers. I've just I'm playing this with the squad that they had throughout the year. Also, transfers are an issue because I just don't have any money either. We're not financially doing very well, and we're not going to have any money over the Christmas break to bring players in. I think I have one unhappy player who is Cameron Burgess, centre-back. I'm ignoring his problems at the moment. He wants a new deal. I don't have the money to give him one, so I'm just ignoring him at the moment. I'll let him go in the summer. He's not good enough to play in the Premier League in my book, so we'd let him go anyway in the summer. So I want to keep him quiet, just ignore him, and hopefully we can get through the January transfer window and he'll still be around. So we're going to move on. And do you ever mirror your setup depending on the opponent? Yeah, we're going to look at how I will set up. It's very rare that I will mirror it. I have faith in the way the tactic is working out at the moment. I don't really feel the need to mirror it. My main attacking threat is Leif Davis on the left-hand side. The attacking threat on the right would not be as good. I have two very defensive fullbacks on the right-hand side, and it just wouldn't be as good to actually do it the other way. Leif Davis, as people probably know, is a very dangerous player, and he is the right one to be playing that role. So yeah, we did draw against Leicester. I don't know how. It was a rearguard defensive action in the second half, but we came through it, and we hopefully are going to continue our good form. But rotation's been difficult. I did rotate the team a little bit, but it's proving to be very, very difficult now. I'm going to take a look. I always will take a look at this, and I can clearly see I'm not actually looking for really anything in particular. I'm looking for pace and dribbling, balance and agility. And the reason I'm looking for that in particular is that if they have extreme pace, I've got to then decide where to put my defensive line. Dribbling skills will also mean that if I'm pressing too much, then the good dribblers will be able to get past us. But I can see here that who am I playing? Queen's Park Rangers are not as good as we are. And that in the main is what I'm looking for here. They are not as good a team as we are. So the way that I would normally set up probably an attacking system would be the best way to go about it. I am looking also at the roles that they play. They have an inverted wing back here who's going to come into midfield, and they're going to have numbers in midfield. They have an advanced playmaker here who also might be an issue, and might be someone I need to consider closing down, marking, getting him out of the game. So I'm looking for players with form. Nobody jumps out. Players who are not playing very well. Paul Smythe is not playing very well on the right-hand side. So something that we'll just bear in mind for now. If his form and confidence are poor, it might be well if he's playing to put some pressure on him, close him down. That's what I'm really looking for in here. And the next thing I'm going to do is go to the data hub and I'm going to look at the next opponent screen. And QPR play a wing play style, and that tells me something. And if I now go to, I'm just going to go to the analyst report, and I'm going to look for the assist type. Although they play wing style, most of their assists are from through balls. Quite interesting, that, which suggests to me, if we go back, that these wingers, are inverted wingers. So whilst they play a wing play style, they're going to get the balls out to the wings, but the wings are going to attempt to come inside. So what I want to do is to make sure I'm forcing them to go outside. You want to play wing play, then we're going to force you to play wing play and not have you cutting inside. So we go to the tactics screen now, setting up before. I'm going to play in a balanced... No, actually, I'm going to play positive because we are home. We're going to keep... We're not going to alter our attacking style. It's been working. I've no reason to alter that at all. I'm not counter-pressing. We're not very good at counter-pressing, but we are going to counter-attack. We are playing a direct counter-attack style, or more of a fluid counter-attack style, perhaps. And then out of possession, which is really the important one, because they are playing wing play, they're going to look to use these spaces. And the less room I give them here, the less effective they're going to be. However, they are going to attempt to come inside. I need to make sure they are going outside. I could say trap outside, but I don't like to use that. I'd rather focus on the individuals and force them outside that way. So we're going to set up pretty much as we've been playing, but we're going to alter the defensive line to a standard line, which hopefully will help us in terms of defending against the wing play. Leaving players up from defensive corners since QPR was so bad at set pieces. You spotted that. One of the things as a beginner that I would encourage beginners not to do is to get involved in set pieces. Just get a set piece coach in, let him do it. As I said, the better the set piece coach that you can find, then the better off you're going to be. This is really a save for beginners, and the less you have to do, then the better off you're going to be. I have given away goals from set pieces because my set piece coach is a little bit too attacking for my liking, and we have given away goals on the counter-attack, but on balance it seems to work fairly well. It's just if you're a beginner, don't worry too much about things that you don't need to worry about. Worry about getting results on the pitch, and learn how to get results on the pitch is the most important thing. As you go on, then you can actually become, as you get better at doing what you're doing, you can add little things to it. You can get involved much more in the scouting, setting up the assignments yourself. You can get involved perhaps a little bit in the training. And we will, for important games, get involved in the training, even as a beginner, but not very often. Mostly we're going to be focused on these two here, the dynamics and the tactics. So I have a pretty good assistant, and he is better at rotation than I am. And there are things that I do agree with him here. But if I go and look at my team, and I am aware that I need to rotate, Harry Clark is very tired, so time to rotate him. Actually, no, sorry, Donisian is tired, so he is right. Harry Clark can come in here. And also Leif Davis, who was rested last time, can come back into the team. I'm going to I take advice from him. I don't always take it. He wants Burgess to play instead of Edmondson, but Edmondson instead of Burgess. And I do agree with that because I think the centre-backs are getting quite tired. So we will try that. It might work, it might not. But I listened to him, and hopefully he has made the right call there. Sam Morsey and Humphreys, if they didn't play, Sam Morsey, who is one of our better players, was rested. We can bring him back in, no problems with that. But I'm worried about Humphreys, because Humphreys has played a lot of games, as you can see, and his form has been a little bit off of late. So I might have to consider Luongo to come in instead of him, just to rotate the team. It's quite important to rotate. And then finally up front, as I say, I will listen to him. He wants to switch those over, but I don't. Wes Burns, Connor Chaplin. Connor Chaplin is one of those who's absolutely exhausted. And I don't know if it's right to play him, but I don't think we played Wes Burns last time. No, he was rested. But really worried about Connor Chaplin, because he looked dead on his feet. He was one of those taken off at half time, so possibly a good idea to give him a rest. On the bench, I have pretty good cover. Humphreys, Hutchison, Caden Jackson, and then I need another winger to come in here if I can find one. You can see my problems here, but what I might have to do is bring a striker in who's not very good, and fill the bench up like that. So I'm fairly happy that that team is okay, and I have listened to him in some respects, and in other respects I've decided not to listen to him. A lot of people say don't listen to your assistant manager, and sometimes they have a point. But if you are a beginner, he is a good source of advice. He makes mistakes if he's not good enough, but generally listen. I mean, I've been a manager all my life in various capacities, and it does pay to listen. You don't always have to take the advice of people, but it does pay to listen. QPR in 24th. We are top of the league. Tip would be to rename your stuff like blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to do this. I'm actually letting my who is it that's doing it? I've got doing staff, hiring and firing staff. I've got my director of football in the main doing the jobs that that I don't need to do. So I'm letting the director of football handle that. The idea is basically, as a beginner, and I can understand D-Law. It's probably frustrating for you because you don't seem like a beginner. But for a beginner, do as little as possible. Just focus, as I said, on the tactics and the dynamics. Dynamics are good. We're ready to rock and roll here. It's come around quicker than I anticipated. Games are coming thick and fast. I will let the assistant do the opposition instructions. Doesn't do a bad job, and so far so good with him. But just let him do it. But I am going to do something as we get into the dressing room. So we're going to take a look at, with team are all happy at the meeting, so we're going to go into the dressing room, and I might actually have the sound on. No, we don't, and I think that's probably a good call, although I want to say our home form is important if it's in here. It's not. Oh, yes, it is. It's important we use our home advantage, and hopefully that'll cheer them up. They look fairly happy, but I'm going to go back now to my assistant, and you can see he's made some recommendations before the game. What's really cool is I can see that they are very tired, and we are going to ask him, and you can see he's changed his mind now. He's made some very interesting changes. Let him do that. I'm also going to look at their midfield, because one of them was extremely good. And here we've identified the advanced playmaker who's passing 15 and vision 16. So I am going to say to my team, which one was he? Not this one. I'm going to say to my team, tight mark him. And I always hire players who can mark in midfield. I don't buy any midfielders who can't mark. I'm very defensive orientated as a manager, and I need midfielders to be able to tackle and mark and win the ball. And so at the moment, apart from that, they had one player who was out of form on the right, but he seems to have been dropped, so that's not an issue at the moment. So we've done our instructions now, and we're going to go to the game, and hopefully, let me check what highlights we're in, because I want to be in extended. Yeah. And we'll go to the game, and we can point out now what things I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Once we get our first iPad coming up, we'll have a look at what we're going to be keeping an eye on. But I think we've set up the team pretty well. I think the lines are set correctly. Hey, Jude. And we'll have a look at what we're going to keep an eye on now. And this is a very important screen, because this is going to tell me where their attacks are. So it did say that they wanted to play wing play. So I want to see if the analysis actually tells me they're playing wing play. If I suddenly find they're playing down in the centre, I'm going to have to change what I'm doing. I also have made an error here, and I'm going to go back to the opposition screen, because remember what I said beforehand, that the wingers were going to be playing as inverted wingers. So I'm going to check that, and he has a reasonable left foot but a very strong right foot, so they're playing a winger in essence on that side. And on this side he has a reasonable but a very strong, so he's going to come inside. So no, he's not. I'm going to force him, which has already been done by my assistant. Force him outside. You want to play wing play, you're going to play wing play. And so I'm looking at that. I'm also looking here for the possession. Shots to shots on target ratio is very important. If that's low, we're not doing something right. And then I've got this set to passing, because I want to keep an eye on who is dangerous in terms of the completed passes and the key passes. And at the moment, though, it's all Ipswich. So we don't have to really worry about it too much. It's all Ipswich at the moment, and we are pretty much dominating the early exchanges. And nice to have Leif Davis back in the team, and we nearly scored there. And yeah, and I'm using him, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Using him in the way that Ipswich actually used him during that promotion season. It's nice to see how that back four is functioning. Has the referee given a penalty there? No, he's given offside. Looking at this, our shots to shots on target ratio is 100%. That's a good sign. We are dominating possession. It looks like they are playing in a wing play style. 100% of their attack has gone down the left flank. If I've set the lines up properly, they hopefully won't be able to get round the back. There won't be enough space. We just need to score now, if we can. My forwards, I've got George Hurst up front. He's tired as well. He's not functioning very well at the moment. Tiredness has just crept in. And you'll watch these, especially in harder games, these will drain very quickly. But at the moment, we're dominating the game as we should be. I'm not particularly worried about anything. And this is where you can lose in FM, by failing, thinking, oh, we're doing really well, I don't really need to do anything, and you'll miss something. Stop it there, because you can see they are playing wing play. 50% down the right, 50% down the left. And so if I've read this right, then our lines should hold. And by having a standard line, what it does is it prevents the space behind that they have to move into, but it also gives your defenders much more time, because wing play is a little bit more direct than normal, and it gives them more time when you're playing against direct ways of playing. I'm not quite sure what QPR did then, but I also don't want this team playing the ball out from the back, and I don't think this is a true representation of the game, so I won't worry too much about that at this point. And there's Leif Davis going down the left-hand side, and good save. And at the moment, we're doing all right. And although we're not scoring goals, I'm not panicking. Oh, Broadhead has got injured, so we're going to have to take him off. Oh. And this might be a time that you would panic, because we're not scoring, dominating the game, and you're thinking, are we going to score? Caden Jackson can come on here now. But going back to when we come back to the iPad, I'm not going to be panicking at this stage, because our shots to shots on target ratio is almost 92% on target. That indicates to me that I should not be panicking, that we need to just be patient and the goal will come. And if it was 6 shots, 1 on target, I might be panicking, because then that's an indication I'm not set up properly. But I think eventually, looking at that, we will score. Although tiredness, as I've said, is an issue. It has gone down a little bit, but it's still a good enough ratio for me not to panic. One of the things that I am looking for is that they will change the way that they're playing, and that they'll decide, well, we're not getting down the flanks, so we'll try working it through the middle. And if that happens, then I will have to change the way that I'm playing. I'm also looking at the game in terms of the space that we are leaving. However you set your lines up, you're going to leave space somewhere. And they are looking quite dangerous now, and the momentum has gone to QPR. So I'm going to come down and play in a little bit more balanced while the momentum is with them. Just to close up any spaces and not be marauding up the pitch too much. So just while the momentum is with QPR, I'm just going to come down into a balanced. Looking at their shots and target to ratio is better than ours, which is not a good sign. So coming down to a more balanced way of playing probably is the right thing to do at the moment. I may also be looking at lowering the line. If we don't score very soon, then I may well look at lowering the line of engagement, to pull them out a little bit and see if that works. But there we're in. Go on, Hurst. You haven't done anything for a while, and you can see how I think this is tiredness affecting the players. One of the things I've noticed is we got the momentum back. So maybe that small change has got the momentum back for us. But we do have to be vigilant. There's that defensive line working, because they tried the ball over the top and we were deep enough to just cope with that. They are playing deep as well, so they are coping with any long balls that we are trying to put over the top. So it's a bit of a stalemate at the moment, and I might have to change the way that I'm playing. Maybe for the last 20 minutes or so, we might have to change the way we're playing. We'll see. At the moment, I'm not feeling that we're not going to score. I feel we will score at some point. there it is. Just as I was saying, I have a feeling we will score. Then we go and score. Sometimes it's just a case of be patient. I've made my tweak, which meant that we stole the momentum back. And I just tried to be as patient as I possibly could. And eventually we've scored. And it is interesting that when I went back to a balanced style of play to get the momentum back, we've now gone and scored. And it was a kind of defensive move that I made. And we have now gone and taken the lead. And we are looking like the better team, in all fairness. It's often very difficult to beat the teams at the bottom. It's sometimes harder to beat teams at the bottom than it is to beat teams who are top of the league. But I'm going to take any kind of victory at this stage, just to keep our run going. It's really important that we, even a draw in these games will be fine. It's all about confidence, and I don't want confidence to decline. That would not be good. Statistics are showing we're in control of the match. I can see that. So I'll take draws. As long as we don't lose, then I'll take a draw. So going back to a balanced way of playing meant that we stole the momentum back. We stopped them playing again. And I do believe this game is about setting up in a way that you want to attack, and then making sure or trying to prevent the opposition. It shouldn't be. I should be in extended, but there's been an awful lot of highlights. I'm going to have a look at that in a minute. We're doing well, but we can find another gear. So we're going to try and nobody's actually playing badly. Nobody's actually suffering in terms of tiredness, which is quite good. Now we're in extended. There was just a lot of highlights in that first half. And we just again need to keep an eye on the match momentum. And there they are, wing play, getting round the back. But we've defended it well. They're crossing from areas that are not dangerous. So again, the standard line against wing play, again, they couldn't get down the flank. And we've done the job there. So defensively, we're set up fine. We need that second goal. And I'm hoping the second goal is going to come soon, but we're not playing very well up front. Took them over, got them relegated. 14 games in, lost one, won the rest. Yeah, I mean, if you do it properly, this is not a difficult game. Chris Willock is the most dangerous player. His pass completion rate is only 77%, but he is providing a few key passes. So what I might just think about doing is go and have a look at Chris Willock. And let's just type mark him. The other thing I can do is to change the role of my fullback there. But we'll just type mark him and see if that has an effect on his ability to actually provide passes. His pass completion is pretty poor at 77, but he's got those two key passes and has been probably the most dangerous of the QPR players. But yeah, so I will actually speak to them individually if I need to. Sometimes there's no point in telling the entire team that as strikers they've been particularly poor. So I will, if the strikers are not functioning, I'll just pick them out individually and give them a rocket up their backside. There's no point in telling the entire team that their attacking has been poor. How long have you been playing FM? I started playing FM in 2011. And for the first 3 or 4 years, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. There's like a 4-year probation when you take up this game. But I started to learn in about 2015, I think. I really started to get to grips with it. And we've gone from strength to strength since then. We are definitely the better team, and we are almost going to get our second goal. But like I said, the temptation now might be to think we've got the momentum back. Let's go back to playing positive. That would be an error. Because we knew when we were playing positive, we gave the momentum away. And so it might be an error to go positive again and then give the momentum away again. So we'll just, as we are winning, it's not our job to score anymore. We'll just stay balanced and just hope that we're going to get that second goal, which we deserve. And there's the set piece counter-attack. But we do have bodies getting back, which is good. One of the big concerns is the volante on attack, and looking at set pieces in particular. In counter-attacks, we are going to leave space at the back, but I do want that volante on attack. It helps us to score goals, which we're not doing in this game. But as I said, I'm going to take a 1-0 without any bother at all. You can see now I've started to get very tired players, and I'm going to make some changes now. This team is getting very, very tired. There's no intensity to the tactic that we're playing, but look at them. George Hurst is on his last legs. Jackson is fairly fresh, so he can go up top. And Hutchison can come on the wing. Harness is in a mess. And actually I've got Chaplin resting, haven't I? So it actually might be better to put Jackson back on the wing. Put Hutchison into the attacking mid-role. And we may have to give this boy a shot. Ladapo may have to come on. It's particularly difficult. Morsey's okay, but Luongo is getting tired. So we will change that midfield. Humphreys can come on for Luongo. My mouse will work. And then I'm going to tell Edmondson to ease off the tackles as well. As we get later in the game, I don't want a red card. Wes Burns and Clark are looking tired, but we'll just see how the next 5 minutes or so go. Hopefully we've got enough in the tank to score the goal we desperately want. Leif Davis's first touch was poor then, but he did recover it. Come on, boys. Come on, you got this. That's a poor cross. Having a look at Harry Clark, keeping an eye on him. He's playing extremely well, though. I don't particularly want to take him off. Leif Davis may need to come off. And that's an indication of how tired they are, because he actually didn't play in the last game. Oh, that's nice. This must be it. Oh, it's still not going in. I don't really want to do anything at this point in time. We are in control of the game. I am aware that they could easily just break away and score. Dozell has become a problem. So we'll have a look at Dozell. Where is he? He's actually causing me a bit of a problem. And so we will, we've already got him type marked. He plays down the left-hand side. but he was the one we type marked, and he's not added to his key passes since we type marked him, so not much of a problem. We've got the match momentum. We forced them to play down the middle a little bit, which they didn't want to, and that's meant that they're not very effective attacking. I'm going to make those final 2 changes now. Harry Clark, I think probably both. Let's strengthen the defence. Oh, I cannot make another one. Clark is playing well, so we'll leave him on. And we're just going to close this game down. I don't even think, although I'm looking at QPR getting the momentum back. So what I'm going to do is just try and close this game down now. So I'm going to go down into a low block. I don't think I need to do anything to my passing. We're going to stay with the same passing style. I'll probably waste time. Let's waste some time. 88 minutes. And what else will I do? Slow the pace down. And just see the game out, hopefully. I think we've been the better team. We're just struggling to score at the moment. But if we can get the win, we'll take the win. We'll wait a minute or so until we get into time added on, and then I'm going to go defensive and shut the game down. But this is always the worry with FM. If you actually shut the game down, sometimes it's the wrong decision. But well done. Defensively, we've been very solid today. And what I'm going to do is now shut the game down. Once this highlights it. Go on, Burns. Penalty, ref? No, not given. So we will now go defensive. Brandon Williams can come back to a wing back on support. Harry Clark can become a full back on defend. And that's it. We're going to hopefully see this game out now for the last 5 minutes. And that'll be another 3 points in the bag. I'm playing. Good question, Neil. I'm playing on an MSI gaming laptop. Get in. Brandon Williams has made it 2-0, and that's all the concern and worries over. Good victory. Made a few tweaks. Had to make a few tweaks to get it, but a job well done, I would say. Another 3 points in the bag. Should have been beating QPR, but as I said, this team is not playing very well at the moment. They're very tired, and I think to get a result like that, fabulous. Interesting that in both instances where we made those tiny little tweaks, we scored. That's always quite interesting, and I like to analyze what the game is doing. And it does seem like when you do make a tweak, if it's the correct tweak that you make, you'll get a goal. And that was justified. We've dominated the game, absolutely hammered them. And I think that was an extremely good victory, which I will then tell them I'm very pleased. A win and a good performance. So, given what we've been up against, and we've now, because Southampton won, I guess, beat Plymouth 2-0, we're still 19 points clear at the top, and our run continues. It's very difficult, guys, to go through a whole season unbeaten in the league, and I'm not expecting this to continue. I will be very fortunate if I can get to the end of the season unbeaten. But working the lines in the way that you do... Hi, Vangelis. Yeah, I'm working the lines in the way that we have been. And you saw during that game that we were working the lines. Setting up for wing play, which is interesting because with that video was wing play. And we set up the team exactly as I made out in that video. And we got the result again. But I did have to tweak it in game a little bit. But at the end of the day, the game is never going to allow you just to set up and then you'll win the game. You're going to have to be vigilant. One of the things that I always tell people is watch the game as a manager and not a spectator. You're not there to sit in the stands and have a hot dog and a cup of tea and enjoy yourself. You're the manager. And you have to analyze what's going on and make changes to combat what's going on. And we made some good changes. And so when you're playing, the more highlights that you have, and extended is enough, the more opportunity you have to watch the game like you're a manager, and then you can make those changes. It's so easy. Sometimes you're 3-0 up and you sit back and you start watching it as a spectator. And there you go out, make a cup of tea. When you come back, it's 3-3. So you have to keep watching it like you're the manager. You're not in the stands. 6.55 for training is probably not good enough, but we'll let him off this time. 2 to 4 weeks. It's actually, I would break my heart if we didn't have that winger coming in. So we've got a winger coming in January. So I think we'll be okay. So now we've got to go and play against Stoke. And Stoke are... Where are Stoke? Well, they're not high up in the league. Oh, yes, they are. They're in 8th. They're a decent team. But again, we should be beating Stoke. So we'll just think about Stoke are 8th. Look at my tactics. And I would play in a mid-block. I guess I would be thinking we're slightly better than Stoke, so I push my line up a little bit. I'm probably not going to trigger press or counter press because we're not good at it. That's the reason. And we're going to continue to play our counter-attacking game. I've got dribble less clicked off because I want them to pass the ball quickly. Don't dribble, just get rid of it. We're not good enough to carry the ball in that way. So I think in terms of the lines, against Stoke, we are a better team, I think, than Stoke. And so we should play with a higher line. But that might change as we go through the week. Did look going 4K, but the price goes up quite a lot. So many Man United rejects. Okay. So I'm really happy about how this save is going. We just keep adding results to what we're doing. We'll play this game Stoke now and see what we can do there. I always, when I've got like situations like this with a schedule, I've got games every 3 days, and I always rest the players. We will play 2 games here. After Stoke, I won't rest them. There's 5 days to recover. And then after Aston Villa, don't need to rest them because there's a week. And then after these games, they won't need to be rested because there's a week in between each of those games. So when there's 2 games a week, I always rest them. I've looked through your short list. Age 38. No, I don't think so. But he might be quite useful. Could turn out to be quite useful. But I've got enough left back cover. And I'm planning on being promoted. So I don't want to fill the squad up with players that are not going to come up to the Premier League. And I do feel fairly confident at this point that we are going to going to get promoted. Ipswich will be without 3 other players. Sky Bet champions. Oh. Morsi Twanzebe. Do you want to request to put 3 players out? Morsi Twanzebe, and can we manage without them? I would like to. I'm going to actually say postpone the match. Let's see what happens. I don't think they're going to let me postpone it just with 3 players out. That would be very kind of them if they did. Stoke and Ipswich has been rearranged. They have let me postpone it. So the next game we have a good long rest now. And the next game we have is the cup match, which I'm not looking forward to particularly. And I can start to look at the tactic here. And I can place my lines right now. We're going to play in a low block. We'll play with a standard line to begin with, just to see what happens. But we're going to get as many bodies as we can behind the ball. One of the things that I am going to do, because they are just so much better than us, is to put my Volante on a support duty as well. I want to get bodies like right in front of my penalty area. What I also want to do is to play brave defenders. They have to be brave because they're going to have to throw their bodies in front of the ball. We did well against Arsenal. We drew with Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. So who knows what could happen. All of my dad's side of the family are Town supporters. All right, Neil. So are you an Ipswich fan yourself, Neil? Gifted 5 memberships. That's really kind of you, Pancakes and Hammer. Excellent. Thank you for doing that. I love the support I get. I'm 66 years old and I started doing YouTube a few years ago, 2.5 years ago, and I never envisaged that I'd get the support from people that I've got. I'm not the kind of football manager. I'm not 24 years old jumping around wearing me baseball cap the wrong way around and swearing and drinking beer, and I wasn't expecting anything in terms of the channel, and I've been blown away by how people are supporting me, and it's great. And I've actually made a few good friends. So Pancakes and Hammers, thank you for doing that. Very, very kind. Transfer. Will there be any deals in the coming week? Nah. I think I have to say we're in good shape. I'm not going to discuss any players leaving. Like the opportunity to change your season's expectations. Now that is never a good idea. We were requested to reach the playoffs. We have an opportunity to get a little bit more cash, but it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It might clear the wage budget, but I'm just going to keep that where it is because it's pressure, and I don't want to put pressure on myself for the sake of £10,000. It doesn't make any sense. Okeke, let's scout him. First touch is very, very good. He has a powerful long shot. He's a midfielder, which doesn't help me. Good passer of the ball, but his vision's a bit suspect. We'll see what the scout report says. And we'll go towards the cup game, which I'm not very optimistic about. But at least we have a rest. We've given the players a good long rest. This is quite an interesting chart. This tells me that we are performing extremely well offensively. Nothing to worry about here. The tactic is working extremely well. If you've got a good long list of positives, then your tactic is working extremely well. We've also got very few negatives. Omar Hutchison is not very effective, but he's been playing a lot in a position in the attacking mid. He's more of a winger, so it's probably not his fault. And that's never changed. Always the opposition entries into your final third come from central positions. So I'm not entirely unhappy with that. He's made an offer. What for? Although he's quite good, isn't he? By the look of it. 18 years old. I'd say he's not bad for this level, 18 years old, and could become a lot better. And this is like the director of football. I could go to transfers now and say, no, I don't want him. But I actually quite like the look of this little youngster. These three are good and could develop. Technique needs a little bit of work, and his mentals will come in time. I think he could be a decent player in the future, so we'll let my assistant play with that one. And for you, I don't even know who he is, so that's fine. And Hurst has become the player of the month. Goal of the month, Brandon Williams. Oh, that was in the last game, wasn't it? No congratulations. Oh, and I have one manager of the month, but that's not a complete surprise because we're just like looking unbeatable at the moment. That is a manager of the month performance. And pleased, yep, of course you're pleased. You've got the best manager in the championship. Do you feel the squad... Oh, I don't want to answer silly questions. It's not a done deal yet, D-Law. Not a done deal yet. Oh, you're an Everton fan, are you? Your mum's from a Liverpudlian then, I guess. So it must be quite interesting, Neil, in your family with Ipswich on one side and Everton on the other. Yeah, once again, thank you, Pancakes and Hammers. As I said, I never expected this. Currently have one vacant space. Twinzabi. Yes, he should come in, shouldn't he? He's been injured. And that's why he wasn't in the squad. So we can put him in the squad now, which is good. He's only just returned from injury, so I'm not quite sure how effective he's going to be yet. So as a beginner, just concentrate on the games. Don't worry too much. The next lines video, Vangelis, I'm working on it. I'm going to be doing... I've decided that I'm going to do all 10 of the presets. So rather than split them into groups, to do all 10. So next one... I mean, it would be interesting to see... how our next opponent plays in how Stoke play, and then we might use that as an example to do whatever style of play that they play. So I'll do them one at a time. As I said, it's quite hard for me to make videos. I'm not long out of heart surgery. I get good bad days and bad days. Today was a good day, so I thought we'll start this again. But tomorrow I might feel a little under the weather again. And making videos is harder than doing this kind of stuff. So, what happened there? We didn't play, did we? But we are now only 17 points ahead. So it's coming down. So, yeah. I'll do it when I can. I'm hoping to get it up by the middle of next week. Should give me plenty of time. It'll be easier than the last one because the last one was the intro as well as wing play. So I don't have to do the intro anymore. Although I do want to share the marking side of what I do in that video as well. But we'll get it done in the middle of next week, hopefully. And we'll keep streaming this during the afternoon as well. I do love streaming. I think it's much more fun than doing videos. Oh, yeah, I wanted to have a look. Do I really want to have a look at this? Oh, boy. I think we can safely say, actually, they're not that great, are they? Looking at the list of weaknesses, and concentration's quite poor. And they don't make very good decisions. But, I mean, they're not Arsenal. They have good acceleration and pace. I do look for acceleration and pace. I'm going to look for dribbling, but also to go with that agility and balance. They're quite aggressive. Agility and balance isn't mentioned, but they're probably going to be a very, very tough opponent. And yeah, I mean, I'm right to play in a low block. I want to get as many bodies as I can behind the ball. What might be important with Aston Villa is identifying players who are in form, such as nobody in form that's jumping out, and nobody who's a problem. We're going to have to mark, depending on how they play, we're going to have to... Who's returning? Kyle Edwards. Is he any good? 25 years old. Quite sure what to do with him. He's not that great. He's got blistering pace, though, for this league. But he's not that great. I don't know what to do with him. Rejected. And Cooper. He's a staff member. I mean, they will do a good job with staff. I just like, especially when I'm doing YouTube, on my other save, the Journeyman, I always leave the staff to the staff hiring to the director or the technical director. Anyway, Will Trapp is a name that I recognise. Can tackle, can mark to a fair degree, but he's more of a centre mid than he is a defensive mid. As I said, I don't really want to make any signings. I don't have any money. Oh, he's just come back and now he's out again. Now he's actually Twanzabi can play as a centre back. He can also play as a DM. He's quite useful as a DM, isn't he? So he's actually a useful player. And if Burgess does decide he wants to leave, I've got Twanzabi who can replace him. Joins Ipswich on loan. Who is this guy? Oh, he's that winger, isn't he? He looks very, very good. He looks exceptional for this level. So he will do a very good job. I've got to fit him in. How old is he? 21. Is he an under 21? I don't think I can see him in there yet. Very happy. Regular starter on loan. Sure you are. Nothing to do with him. Nothing down here that I need to worry about. So he's got his first cap. Now I need to have a look at how he played before I answer these questions. Schedule. Twanzarbi got his first cap. They won 2-1. So I want to have a quick look at how he played. What was his rating? Because if he got a 6.2, I don't want to be telling him you gave a good account of yourself. Twanzarbi. Who does he play for? Oh, there he is. 6.5. He didn't play particularly well, so I'll just congratulate him on his first cap. And that's the trap. You did well and should be proud of yourself. You've been very patient waiting for your chance. So, well, yeah, I mean, it's really sad about Twanzarbi and the way his career panned out. I, like you, thought that he was going to be a good player, but wasn't to be for him. Just like Aston Villa. Let's go to the data hub at this point. And this is they play a controlled possession, a bit like Manchester City. They're going to be pressing high up the pitch, trying to cause us all sorts of problems. And this area here is where we need to close this area down. You can see that most of the play on this graphic, it's all happening in this area, and we need to be good in this area of the pitch. How we deal with the midfielders is quite crucial. We don't know whether they're going to be looking for space outside, or whether they're going to focus down the middle. It's all going to happen in here, and we need to be very good. I need to get bodies behind the ball. We are nowhere near as good as them, and I need to get bodies behind the ball. As yet, I don't know if I want to force the wingers inside or outside. The data hub might give me some idea. The two wingers that they're playing, we got Ramsey, who's the playmaker. He's going to need to be taken out of the game. Ollie Watkins is going to need to be tight marked, but I don't know if I've got anybody who could do it. And then we have Volante on attack, who's probably going to be getting into these spaces as well. He needs to be tight marked. And they're going to have a wing back. They're playing very similar to us, except their right wing back's coming up the line. Playing a winger here is quite interesting, because the wing back, so he's not going to be playing as a winger, he's coming inside. So I want to force him outside so that they get in each other's way, so that the wing back and him get in each other's way. But it's just like, oh boy. But I don't, what's wrong with him? What does he want? Oh, a new contract. There's no money. I'm just going to ignore him. I ignored Burgess and seem to have got away with that. So bring Burgess back in. Humphreys, yeah. I'm going to go along with his team, apart from Sarriamento, because I think it's a bit early to bring him in a big game like this. Although we do have... I'm going to put Caden Jackson out on the wing. Brandon Williams, Dominic Ball, and Edmondson. Where's my midfielders? He hasn't put anybody in there. Always got to check the bench. We'll bring Jack Taylor onto the bench instead of Ladapo. At this point in time, I'm really short of midfielders. Where's my other DM coming from? Luongo, Humphreys. Where's Morsey? On international duty. Okay. So I'm short of DMs. Lee Evans is injured. Morsey, Missouri, both on international duty. So I'm really struggling for midfielders. And then Harness, Sarmiento can go on the bench. And Ladapo. Broadhead is injured. Ladapo can come on. So we got a weakened team as well, which is brilliant against Aston Villa. And I'm just going to go back and identify players that I definitely need to look out for. Ramsey, Watkins, Douglas Luiz, and the right winger. And hope that the low block will mean that we don't get hammered by too much. Lewis Travis. Oh. Can we get him to play? In this game. Can we get him on the bench at least? We don't have any spaces, so somebody's going to have to leave the squad. Ladapo could possibly come out because we've got two forwards coming in. So let's take Ladapo out. And it doesn't matter, he's injured. Lewis Travis is injured. How long's he out for? 7 weeks and 3 months. What was the point of bringing him in? Okay. So there's very little point in even thinking about him. That'll be end of season. Oh, and Cameron Humphreys is now out. He's going to have to play. He's going to have to play, Humphreys. I could have said use injection, but that might make him out for even longer after the game. And I don't know when the other boys are coming back. I look at this squad and I wonder how Ipswich did manage to get promoted with this team. I think the manager must have done an extremely good job. Hi Tunkai, good to see you. How are you doing, my friend? Do you get these green relationship lines? Depends. We should be getting... I think we've got a few. Yeah, we've just got one at the moment. It takes a long time. We've only been here for a few months. But I would have expected to have a few more than that. And let's go and play this game. I don't feel very optimistic. Again, we'll let him do this. Yeah, of course. Much shorter passing. No, we don't. We're playing direct. We're not going to be passing it about. We're going to play in the low block. We'll start with a standard line. I might have to lower it a little bit. I can't see anything else I want to do here. I was thinking work the ball into the box, but no, I want them to take shots. And if we'll submit this team, we'll go for it. Yeah, I mean, Villa's very scary, but, you know, we are a championship team. We got to give it our best. But at the end of the day, I'm not expecting to win the game, and I'll be happy, actually, to be out of the cup. We're not going to win the cup. So let's get rid of a few games that we don't need to play. No, I'm not going to say that. Show everyone what we can do. Let's not say we're the underdogs, and just show everyone what we can do. So now we did identify a few of these players. Douglas Luiz, we want to tight mark. Kamara probably is going to be needed to tight mark. Diaby is the one that we wanted to send outside. So we're going to turn him onto his right foot. And hopefully then he will get in the way of Marius Wolf. They'll get in the way of each other. Jacob Ramsey also needs to be tight marked. Ollie Watkins, if we look at his attributes, we don't have anybody who is capable of tight marking him. I wonder about what's his pace like. I mean, he's too quick. His dribbling is better than we can cope with. Composure, though, is not great. So it might be better not to tight mark him, but to close him down. It might be a poor call, but it just doesn't make any sense to me to try and tight him. His decisions are 10. His composure's maximum, I would say 11. So, and he's not very aggressive either. So I think closing him down might be better than trying to tight mark him. And also putting him onto his left foot. So let's try it that way. I think the danger's going to come from Ramsey. And I may need to put one of these two boys on Ramsey. We shall see. But I'm not actually looking forward to this. I think we're all set. Let's go and see what happens. Come on, Hurst. It's about time you had a good game. If we get a chance, put it away. We won't get many, but if we get one, put it away. This is going to be funny. I'm really not looking forward to this. Aston Villa are playing down the middle. Well, kind of. We'll get a better sense of that as the game goes on. Because if they're playing down the middle, I may want to push my line up a little bit rather than have it as a standard line. Oh, boys! Come on! FM, come on! Christopher, how are you? Welcome to the channel. Hit the post. Well, this is a bit odd because we've been the better side in the first 10 minutes. I'm getting a sense they're playing down the middle, but as yet they haven't caused us too many problems. If they start causing us problems, then what I might have to do is lift the lineup. But they've gone back to playing down the flanks. At the moment, there's nobody who's causing us a problem at the moment. But this is like probably looking like a goal to me. Well done, well defended, nicely done. I need to just be aware of where any problems are coming from. So they're getting positions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just push that line up a little bit, because they're getting positions around this area, and I want to make sure that we're not giving them that space to get into and take shots from this area of the penalty area. So push the line up so that we're going to close them down a bit more effectively. They have taken control of the game, which doesn't surprise me. But our job is just to soak up the pressure and then hope that we can sneak a goal. And I'm not going to change anything at the moment. I'm tempted to put my Volante on a more attacking duty to try and get some more chances going. But while it's 0-0, or even we're 1-0 down, we're still in the game. So why rock the boat at this point in time? Well done. Lovely tackle. Come on, son. We can beat Villa here. Come on. We can do it. And that's poor from Humphreys. He's only 18, that guy. And he's pretty much played every game in the first half of the season. And he's done very, very well for an 18-year-old. He might be 19 now. What's a chance? Go on, Hursty boy. We saw you do that in the last game. We're not doing too bad. The only thing I would worry about is our shots to shots on target ratio, which is 0 at this point in time. But I'm not really that bothered. Staying in the game is all I want to do. And this is always going to be a problem with the higher line. They're trying now to get behind us. So I may have to be a little bit vigilant, but I am concerned about this area of the pitch. That they seem to be, and I want to get bodies in there. And pushing the line up seems to be the right thing to do for that, but I might get that wrong. I'd like us to get a shot on target, Hurst, if you don't mind. Wolf. Marius Wolf. Yeah, he's a fullback, isn't he, on the right-hand side? He's the attacking. So I force the winger out. I'm going to force him inside. So we'll force the winger out and force the wing back to come inside. I mean, I was hoping they'd get in each other's way, but it doesn't seem to be working out that way. We'll see how that goes. Forcing him onto his weaker foot might mean his passing gets a bit off. He's got an 86% pass rate, so I want to see that come down if I can. But at half-time we are 0-0, and what time is it now? 1:40. Probably another hour or so. We'll see how it goes. If I've got people watching, I'll carry on. When you guys need to go and I'm on my own, it's not much point in carrying on. So as long as I got people watching and engaged and enjoying it, then why not? No, we don't want to be saying that. You're doing well. Keep working hard until full time. Hurst is not playing well though. And I want to have a quiet word with him. Wes Burns is also not playing very well. So we're going to have a quiet word with those two. And say I'm not happy with you two. I can't believe this. Like, I tell them I'm not happy with you. And they look delighted that I've told them. He looks motivated and inspired because I told him he's not playing very well. It doesn't make any sense, that. He should look a little bit down in the dumps. But, hey-ho. And we've actually done well here. We've stopped Villa from creating anything worthwhile. They are mainly focused, looking at this, mainly focused down the wings. So we're going to make that change again now. And we're going to pull that line back a little bit. Because it seems to me they're more focused down the wings. Hopefully, Bruno, it will be in the middle of next week. As explained earlier, it's quite difficult for me to make videos at the moment. I had heart surgery a while back, and so I get good days and bad days. Making a video is hard work. Doing live streams is easy. Making a video is really hard work, but I'm trying my best, and hopefully by the middle of next week, we'll be doing the next one. I've had a great response to that video. I was shocked at the response that I've had. So yeah, I want to get the next one out as soon as possible. Let's give this boy a game. Sarriamento. See what he can do. Hurst is like an absolute nutcase. I don't really have anybody I can put up there now. I need Kiefer Moore to come in. See what he can do. But we'll try this boy, Yeah, inverted winger suits him fine. But yeah, I wasn't expecting the kind of response that I had to that. And it's already picked up, I think, 80 subscribers. So happy with that. And yeah, I'm keen to get the next one out. Because even as we're doing here, if you work the lines properly, you'll get results. I'm absolutely shocked that we are still 0-0 with Villa. I was not expecting it to be 0-0 at this point. I still expect to lose, but to be at 0-0 at this point and having a decent game, really giving Villa a game, actually. It's all a bit scrappy at the moment. And it could be that the Villa will score. I'm pretty sure of it. But we just got to keep working these... closing down there. That was terrible. And there it is. And it's a defensive error. There's nothing you can do about defensive errors. But in all fairness, I wasn't expecting to win. Who was this? I think it was Burgess, was it? Yeah. So what I need to do with Burgess, I need to tell him to close down less. That was just a poor defensive error. But we're not out of it yet. We could still get back into this, maybe. Come on, referee, red card. Give him a red card. No, it's only a yellow. But Burns has got himself injured, has he? Nah, he's all right. But as I said, I don't mind losing 1 or 2-0 to Aston Villa. It's no big deal. We weren't expected. Douglas Luiz, we already have him type marked. DRB we didn't think about, did we? He's already type marked. It's because it's just that sometimes they're just a better team than you are. Wes Burns is not playing very well. Burgess had a terrible game, and so is Humphreys. So Jack Taylor will have to come in and have a game. Jack Taylor hasn't played for a long time because I don't trust him in the centre of that part of that midfield. So I think we've done well. We've given them a game. They are focused down the flank, so the standard line is the right thing to do. Which I don't know. Maybe we've been unlucky. I might go positive for the last 5 minutes and see if that helps. See if we can't spring at... Oh, that was Leif Davis. Yeah, they're in behind us. 2-0, and that's it. Job over. But I'm not too worried about that. They've done... They've done okay today. Sloppy mistakes. Leif Davis made a terrible mistake. I think probably the line needs to come back a little bit more, but it's too late now. Because that little through ball, we're too high up. But not to worry. Not to worry. DRB suddenly started to have a very, very good game. And then we did well to go 60 odd minutes with them toe to toe. But we're out of the cup, but it doesn't matter. I'd rather focus on winning the league. And playing in the cup doesn't make any sense to me. Just playing extra games. Go on, let's pinch one back. Oh, hit the bar. Unlucky, son. So we've given a good account of ourselves. Fair play. We just weren't good enough at the end of the day. There's the danger now that we've lowered the line, that they are going to take pot shots from outside the box. But you have to do something, and I can't cover all areas of the pitch. Moreno. Don't know much about him, except that he's fast. Can't see anything with those either. Let's ask my assistant. Because I can't get an indication of their attributes. And even now, we're still giving them a game. It's like we haven't done bad at all. But Aston Villa are not going to win the cup either. They've been pretty poor, if you ask me. Go on, let's have a goal, boys. Get a goal. And then let's put a little bit of fear into their minds. You can do it. Oh, come on. That would have made a very interesting 10 minutes, because I'd have gone positive. I'd have gone for it. Let's go positive. Let's... Hello, Ollie from Sweden. How are things going? Welcome to the channel. We're still going for them. We've really got the momentum at the end of the game. That just can't get that goal. But I'm very proud of them. They've done very, very well. Just don't make it 3-0 FM. There's no need to rub my nose in it. We've played very well. Is it the third? No. It's not very often I will play with a lower line of defence, but their through balls for the 2 goals were really clinical. I have to trade off that maybe they will get long shots in, but we got to stop those through balls. It was too late. But the only way to stop those through balls is to lower the line of defence. Oh, you've got one back! And there's still 4 minutes left. Come on. Let's give them a shout. Encourage them. Come on, boys. Now that makes the scoreline, even if we lose 2-1, that is an exceptional scoreline. And it is Luongo who blasted it over the bar just now. Come on, boys. We got this. I'm actually now... Wait a minute. Wait for it. Luongo... We're going to put him on an attack duty. And Brandon Williams is already on an attack duty. We'll stay positive. We're not going to win it, but we'll just push an extra body up. Come on. One more highlight. There's going to be another highlight. Come on, FM. Go on. Come on, we can do this. Oh, no, that Jack Taylor, that's why he's not been in the team. But it's all over now. All over bar the shouting. I just thought if I pushed Luongo up, FM might be nice to me. And that's it, full time. We've lost 2-1, but hey-ho. We gave them a very good game. In fact, looking at the shots, they had 11, we had 11. 4 on target, 3 on target. Possession, 48-52. We gave them a game. Our XG it's similar. So we gave them a game, and well done, boys. I'm proud of your efforts. Although, look at Hurst. He's playing really poorly at the moment, and Wes Burns. It's because they're tired. They need a rest. But that was a good performance. That was a good performance. But how's the club reacted to that? Be competitive in the FA Cup. Oh, we passed. And the reason that the team attempted to be competitive, we did attempt it. So we passed that anyway. Jackson's injured. But at least we've got a week to recover. So looking at, for beginners, concentrate on the field. And we have, as most of you in the chat know, we've found that if you're vigilant and you look at where your lines are, then you can control games and you can win a lot of football matches. And we're doing it again here. Although we didn't win against Aston Villa, that was a super performance. We haven't lost in the league, and we're going to play Stoke. When is the Stoke game? Do I need to rest any of the players? Yeah, I think I probably better give them a rest. And so concentrate, for beginners out there, if there are any beginners here, concentrate on learning how to manipulate the lines. And then you're not going to lose many matches. It took a while to figure that out, but when I came out of hospital, I was feeling under the weather. I didn't want to make videos. I didn't want to stream. But I did want to play Football Manager. It's kind of weird. And so I started looking at how can we make this, what is it this year that will make the difference. Last year, we took a long time to work out. Last year, to break the game, you just needed 3 different styles, 3 different tactics in 3 different styles. And as you play through each match, you rotate through. When things are not going well, you change it to the next one and then change it to the next tactic, and eventually you find which one works. So looking at Stoke, they're a pretty decent team. I would say we are better than them. They're good at set pieces. But there's nothing really jumping out here at me that we should be afraid of. Looking for acceleration and pace. It's not mentioned in either column. So I think we'll just play the way that we play. But I can't remember if we're home or away in this game. We're away. We'll play balanced as we are the away team. We'll play in our normal mid-block. This is how we like to play. We're a counter-attacking team. We'll sit back in a low block and go from there. And that's how we'll do it, basically. Can't see anything else that I want to do. They're a team we should be beating, and hopefully we will. Burgess is now not returning until the 11th of Feb, which is good news. Because it means he's out. He might make it through the transfer window without losing him. Yeah, Stoke are not as good as us. I'd already worked that out. They're overachieving a little bit by the look of it. Play control possession, similar to Aston Villa. So again, it's about making sure we are strong in midfield. As I said, we don't know where they're going to be playing, through the middle, down the flanks. Villa played down the flanks. Stoke might be different and go predominantly through the middle. So as yet, I don't know how to set the lines, but probably start with a standard line and see how it goes from there. Just have to look very early on. Keep an eye on very early on. Having problems figuring out mentality. Yeah, it's pretty much risk. How much risk are you willing to take? What kind of manager are you? Are you an attacking manager? I'm not an attacking manager. I'm quite defensive manager, and I like to see this. Goals conceded 14, the best in the league. And it's not very often that I'm not getting best in goals conceded. I'm a defensive-minded manager. So, who's this? We got 35 grand in, did we? So I focus on defense and then trust my attackers to go out and get me the goals. So mentality is basically how much risk are you going to take? And I'm prepared to take a little bit of risk against Stoke at the beginning. But most of the time I'm not prepared to risk. But I think for Stoke, we should, although we are away. So I'm going to play balance to begin. Because I don't know. We're not attacking very well, so I want to be solid defensively. I'm going to leave the Volante on attack for now, although he's happier playing on support. So we'll leave him on support and just perhaps tell him to get further forward. That's how we'll do it. Good signing for the future. Who's he? I haven't got any money. Centre mid anyway. I don't use centre mids. He would be a good signing. I know Cameron Pring, Bristol City, have signed him a number of times in FM. Amadou Diallo. Sign as a last resort. Is that Amadou Diallo? He's saying sign him as a last resort. Attacking mid. 18-year-old. She's busy, that scout, Helena Costa. Or is she my chief scout? Good signing for the future. Centre mid again. I'm not interested in centre mids. Yeah, Helena Costa's my chief scout. Very good find she was. Exceptional for the Championship. Good for Premier League as well. Stoke. We should be beating Stoke. We shouldn't have anything to fear here. Doesn't mean that we can play complacent. I don't have any money. There's no way I can offer contracts. So we'll just ignore that as well. Must respond. Let's ask Chaplin to resolve the problem. Unable. Okay, we'll decline that. I don't have any money, you're going to have to understand. And Missouri is the same. Wants an improved contract, we decline. None of them are getting improved contracts. Probably a lot of unhappy players now. And I'm pretty prepared to go with that team, actually. Let's go with that team. And let's go to our tactics screen. Leif Davis is not playing very well at the moment, is he? Does Brandon Williams deserve more game time? I don't know. Donasian is the centre-back he's put in there, is he? Look at all these players I'm missing. It was hard enough before. Lee Evans, Jack Taylor. Dominic Ball actually could play midfield. And Ladapo struggling a bit. Nick Hayes is gone now. And Sarriamento's unregistered. Oh, I've got of course I have to register him, don't I? So that means somebody's got to... Sarriamento has got to come in. We've got to get somebody out then. Who is going to come out? This is an interesting one, isn't it? Jack Taylor could possibly come out, but I'm short in midfield at the moment. Maybe I'll just save him. No, Ladapo. Aluka can come out. There we go. Aluka's going to get upset now. Okay, so now we should be able to put Sarriamento onto the bench. Should I give him a game? Let's see how he gets on. Is he better? Does he want to play on the right or the left? Doesn't really matter, but he wants to play as a winger on that side, so he's left really. Maybe he could play on the right. Let's put him in instead of Harness there. Let's give him a game. Come on. Why not? We brought him in. Might as well give him a game. So now, basically, this is about lines again. The question also... He's ineligible for the rest of the season. Well, what is the point of bringing him in? Never mind. So we don't even know if Stoke are capable of playing that style, because it's a tough style that they're attempting to play. Control possession. It's quite a tough way that they're playing. We've got inverted wingers and inside forwards, so they're more likely to be playing up these areas of the pitch. So I want to force, I think, the wingers outside. And it's probably likely they're going to be playing more down the middle of the pitch. I think we should, because it's not Aston Villa, I think we should be pushing the line up a little bit if they are going to play. No, we don't. If I'm going to force them outside, we'll keep the line where it is. Keep the line where it is for now, at least. This control possession's really hard to play against, to set your lines up, because you don't really quite know where they're going to focus their attacks before the game. With like direct play, it's very easy. They're going to look to get balls over the top. Route 1, they're going to get balls over the top. Wing play, they're going to go down the flanks. This is control possession is a very difficult one. You don't know. Yeah, see, he wants me to push up as well. I won't for now, but I'll bear it in mind, because it's something that's playing on my mind. Should I push that line up? But if they are going to play down the middle, it's the right thing to do. If I force them outside, though, they're playing in an uncomfortable way. So it probably is right to push the line up, just in case they do come at us down the middle. Tough one. I don't like playing against controlled possession, because you never know where their focus is going to be. tough one. We're away, aren't we? Stick to the plan, be patient. This is often a good one, because when you say be patient, it means you have to be patient. And I'm not sure I'm going to be, because I might need to change that. I think we need to show people is the right way to do this. And let's go to my opposition now. And the two wingers, I want to force him outside. So I'm force him onto his left foot. And this guy, Lyndon Gooch, I'm going to force him outside as well. So force him onto his right foot. I think they want to play down the middle, and they're not going to be very comfortable playing as wingers. These two guys want to be cutting inside. Thompson is also someone probably I'm going to need to keep an eye on. We shall see. He's probably going to be a dangerous player, so I'm going to tight mark him as well. Midfield, we have to be good. So let's see how the game starts. Have we got the lines right now? I met Alisver Kesson the other day in my save. Right. It's like always, it's so interesting to see where people are playing their saves. There we go. Standard line was right. And the way we defended that was absolutely first class. They were perfectly positioned, my centre-backs. All my life I've been a Manchester United fan, Tunkai. But these days, as you'll find as you get older, that hysterical passion leaves you. That you just become a little bit more sedate in terms of support. And I actually now just enjoy watching good football matches. And it doesn't really matter to me who's playing. If it's a good game, I just enjoy it. I still support Man United, but not to the extent that I have done for most of my life. As I've got older, I can see there are other teams that play as well. Well, of course, the jury's just getting... The jury's still out on that Vangelis. I know he's not going to take any nonsense, and that is a good sign, because so often the managers we brought in have allowed the players to dictate and moan, and if he doesn't take any nonsense, that's a really good sign. But the jury's still out. Whether United can play at 3 at the back, I don't know. But we shall see. But looking at the it's changed. But Stoke, after 10 minutes, were completely down the middle. So we made a good call there. And we seem to have snuffed out any threat. And I could see from the first highlight, when that cross came in, we defended it absolutely brilliantly. So I think at the moment we don't need to do anything. They are still looking to go down the left flank, and they can do that until the cows come home, as far as I'm concerned. And it does look like they want to play down the middle, and we're not letting them. And that's why we are getting the highlights, because we're controlling the game at the moment, and the game will give you the highlights then. For those 25 years, I mean, I'm old and I waited. We were a terrible team before Ferguson. We even got relegated once. West Ham relegated us. And I waited and waited, and then Ferguson came along, and I certainly enjoyed those years. But it never lasts forever. So I accept that we're going to have a bad time as well. Let's hope we will recover a little bit. And Amarin might be the right man to do it. You just don't know. Football's a game of morale and confidence, and if he can get the players on side, who knows? He also needs to work on getting the players to be a little bit less selfish. It's like so many of them seem to just think about themselves and glory for themselves and not thinking about the team. And that's something that he needs to be working on. Ender Stevens, he's a defender. He's a wing back. So we will type mark him. He's a bit out of control, that boy. But at the moment, we're doing well. We are fairly in control. Again, they're playing down the middle as much as they can. And they want to play down the middle, but I think we've got things sorted out in the right way. Maybe. Yeah, we're playing with a higher line, which makes it harder for them to play down the middle. We do just want to watch in case with the controlled possession, you're quite often going to see through balls. But I haven't seen any so far from Stoke. You'll see this diagonal through ball, and that's where you might need to pull the line down a little bit. Vangelis, who did you support, mate? That was poor. Has it been given offside? Yes, it's been given offside. That's a little bit of a warning. Spurs. I know Spurs fans are not happy, but I enjoy watching Spurs. I actually really enjoy watching them. They either are so dominant or they're so bad. It's like they can't quite get that balance yet, but it could work. Give it time. I think my line is a little bit too high now. And they've changed their focus and they're going down the flanks. So I need to pull my line back a tad to stop them. They're going outside now. There's a complete shift of focus from them. And that's why we've lost the momentum. The line was too high if they're going outside. But if we can win this, we'll keep our unbeaten record going. And so far, so good. We're the better team. Stoke have come into it a little bit. Got the match momentum at the moment. But we'll take this. We've got Jordan Thompson now to worry about as well. He's already being tight marked. We just have to keep an eye on him. I might have to put someone on him. So Tunkai, that's why you're enjoying the Newcastle live stream that we're doing then, Tunkai. That's why I always see you in that one. That has been such a fun journeyman save. And I'm pretty sure that next season Newcastle are going to win the Champions League. It's such a good team now. It's Champions League team, that is. Just need... Oof, what a strike. Just need one or two more signings in that save and we're Champions League. End of save then. It was such a good save, that one. Eager to see Kulusevski. Who's playing? Oh, it's of course the international break, isn't it? The international break. It's important to stay focused. If we can win this, then this will be a phenomenal victory. Especially we got so many players missing. We got a squad that can barely stand up. They're so tired. Come on, let's get an early goal. Lovely pass. Go on. See, Burns is very, very tired. He didn't even bother running after that. He's very tired. Sarmiento isn't having a bad game. Go on, son. Oh, so we're creating chances but not putting them away. What's our shots on target? It's 50%. It's good. But Stoke are going to be very dangerous. We have one yellow card. I'm wondering if I should be getting stuck in, because they do tend to look like they're winning the 50-50s. There's the ball down the flanks, but that's because we have this wing back on attack. Struggling to know what to do now. Sarmiento's actually lost ground here. Stoke have got the momentum back. Yeah, that's harmless. I'm really struggling to... I don't like playing against control possession. They're focused down my right-hand side, so I'm going to put him on a support duty. They've completely shifted their focus down this side. So we're going to put Leif Davis on support. I think the lines are good. I think the standard line is working a treat. There's another chance. Hey, Do Trung, is that Vietnam? I will be off to Vietnam at the end of January. Back to my old stomping ground. I worked in Huang Nai for 4 or 5 years. So I'm going back to visit old friends. I also have many friends in Saigon, so looking forward to that. So yeah, where do you live in Vietnam? I think it's a Vietnamese name. Come on, boys, we need to focus. But again, we've stopped them. So this is such an interesting game because they are changing their focus all the time. But still, it's predominantly down the right-hand side. I trust my forwards, but my defenders need a lot of help. The reason I do this, D-Lot, is it helps me to see what's going on. That's the only reason I do it. And I've always been, I want to win matches. I watch other people live streaming and they're playing the game at 200 miles an hour. I can't see anything. And they're just really taking a chance. And what they're doing is just building up a squad. And then the better the squad, the more matches they win. But they still lose because they're not playing a football manager game. They're not managing. Ender Stevens, we've had a look at him before, haven't we? He is the main problem. And he's got a weak right foot. And he's tired, so I also want to close him down. He is the main problem that we have. my job in I was in Indonesia and Vietnam. I was an academic director, managing a whole bunch of schools. Quite good fun, but stressful, very, very stressful. But stress is has always been part of my life. And, Josh Burns, I'm going to look at Wes Burns is playing rather well. So we're going to focus down his side for a while. See if we can't. We'll make some changes now as the team tire. We're really not playing very well at the moment because, as I said at the start of the stream, this team is tired. They are very tired. Harness can come on for Sarmiento. Oh, interesting. What do you teach, Vangelis? Yes, Stilo. I just love a bit of stress. I mean, there have been times when I've completely lost my cool on the stream and the chat's gone really silent, thinking, what the heck? Oh boy, nobody's particularly tired and nobody's particularly playing badly. He's on a yellow card, so I'll bring Diosian on. This game does strange things to people. It's people who are normally quite calm in real life. The game absolutely does strange things to them. And it's doing strange things to me at the moment because I'm really struggling to work out this Stoke team, and I can't really figure out how they're playing. They're not pressing me. And yet they are causing me all kinds of problems. That's a good cross, but couldn't get on the end of it. Go on, son. Go on. Interestingly, that he's on a defend duty, and look where he is. Oh, almost. Don't get caught on the counter. This might end up as a draw. I'm really struggling how to work them out. And I think that an issue that I have is the mentality. And I'm not sure whether I should come down in mentality or go up. And it's really quite a conundrum, this. I'm enjoying this one. I'm enjoying this little battle that I have going here. There's a part of me that feels, because they're not pressing me, that I can push the line up and cause them a few more... What sort of shot was that? Cause them a few more problems. Social sciences. Okay. My very first job was a senior mental health worker. So I did social studies in Swansea University for a couple of years. So interesting that you're doing social sciences. What should I do, boys? We are dominating this game. Part of me wants to go more attacking. I've been caught with that before. I need that second goal. This is the problem that I have. Chaplin is tired. And I'm going to switch those. And Luongo is tired. Lee Evans can come in here. Lee Evans can go in there. And one more. What should I do, boys? Should I just keep going? Because I don't know whether I should change my mentality here. I just go for it. Being more defensive isn't going to help. Leif Davis is not playing very well and tiring, so Brandon Williams. It's like so difficult, this. I feel like I want to reduce the mentality, but there's a part of me that wants to increase the mentality. And I'm not picking up anything from the game apart from we are dominating it. which is always dangerous because they'll only take one counter-attack and they could equalise. I love this. I'm actually loving this. This is like a real puzzle. Go on. Oh. And there's like, I see space in the middle of the park. I know what it is. Let's go to a low block. And I want, because there's space in the middle of the park and I don't want that space to be there. So let's go to a low block and see if we can solve the problem with that. It should help. We'll now get much more bodies behind the ball. They're catching us on the counter here, though. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, that was dreadful defending. Who was that? That was Brandon Williams. What a shocker. That's reducing that space, and I could see space, and we picked up that loose ball there, but we have let them back into the game a little bit. And they're taking some long shots. And so let's push the line up. I need to squeeze this space. That's what I need to do. Yeah, like D-Law, that's not wrong. I do love playing in the low block. I love seeing the bodies that you can get behind the ball. I'm going to waste time a little bit and be more disciplined, because we're letting them come back into the game a little bit. I think this one is all about space in the middle of the park. I'm seeing a ton of space here, but we've got it closed down better now. But it would help if we pass the ball correctly. Who's my favourite manager? That's an interesting question. I have to admit that even though I'm a Man United fan, at the beginning of his career, I was a big fan of Klopp. Not so much towards the end, because he became a bit whingy, but his manner at the beginning of his career was he was just a super personality. Yeah, so Klopp, I would say, at the beginning of his Liverpool career. Of course, that's current. Nobody's ever going to get near Alex Ferguson. No one will ever get near Ferguson. So we are just really struggling to hold on to this. This has been a good battle. I've enjoyed this one. I really couldn't figure out how they were playing. And I think Stoke did really well because they kept switching it. And that's the control possession style. It's very difficult to know where they are going to direct their attacks. Good stuff. Get stuck in. That's an idea. Maybe we should get stuck in. Just hold on, boys. Just see this highlight out. And then we're home and dry. It's not going to score with that. And now the next thing to do is just make sure. Pull that line back. Yeah, Graham Potter is a very good manager, to be fair. And for entertainment purposes, I do love Postecoglou. I'm afraid that he's not great in terms of his defensive management, but his attacking philosophy, it's just fun to watch. I'm going to say, yeah, very, very well done. We battled for that. And we're now 20 points clear at the top again. So there you go. I mean, playing it live, I mean, people were accusing me of cheating and what have you. Those who watch the Newcastle stream will know I don't. But you can see that we've played some games here today, and the only game we lost was against Villa, and that's not a bad result anyway. So our run continues, and we are still unbeaten. And it just does show that if you play with the lines, you can get good results. And I'm absolutely convinced that I found the secret to this. So if you're a beginner, watch the series that I'm doing on managing the lines. Come along to these and the other streams if you can, and just have a look at how we're manipulating the lines. And we've had some very good results here today. We've worked hard for it. And so yeah, the time is now. We've been 2 hours. I've had a good time. So I'm gonna call it a day now. Go and get something to eat. But hope you've had a good time, guys. I've had an absolutely fabulous time. Thank you for coming along. I've had an absolutely brilliant time, and I hope that I will see you again soon. We're going to do this Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the afternoon. So if you are around in the afternoon, then come and join us on those days. There will be times when I'm not feeling so well, but I will always let you know if I can't do it, and I apologize in advance for that. Sometimes the Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday one, I have to postpone it because I'm not feeling very well, but hopefully that will pass, and we'll be not ever in that situation again. But for now, I have good days and bad days. But the plan is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the afternoon. And hopefully I will see you guys. What day is it today? Friday. So on Monday for the next one. And there's been quite a few in. 204 people visited at some point today. So thank you so much for that. And we've done well. I think it's been a good session. We are still unbeaten in the league. And on we go. Thanks for your support, guys. Take care. Stay safe. And see you soon.